Hello and welcome to the Afri Dominion Show. My name is Freeman Singirankabo, and thank you so very much for tuning into our program today. Those of you joining us live, especially if you're joining us live from the social media platforms, there are so many of them, some of which are popular, or most of you get to join if you're joining us from Facebook, YouTube's, and some of the private ones that we are broadcasting this signal to. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for taking some time out of your busy schedule and joining or tuning into our program today. A huge thanks to those of you viewing our programs from television and radio station as well. We are super excited that you have also found some time out of your busy schedule to come and join in to the conversation for this very next 90 minutes. We are super excited about that, and I really want to give you guys a huge shout out, and also happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to all those of you who are on Thursday, and happy early Friday to those of you who are already on Friday. We know that we shoot our signal, or we broadcast our signal all across the globe. And we know that we have a global audience. So all of you guys, we are so mindful that you are tuning in, whichever region that you are in, and that it's super exciting and very humbling to have this opportunity to come in front of you as we share the things that are very deep to our hearts. And with that in mind, guys, every single program that we run, that we have here, every single conversation, we get to have because we intend to be truthful to you. We speak boldly, we speak truthful to you, and we speak with no apologies. Because again, the contents that we are discussing about, the conversation we are having, these are our own conversation, the things that we care so deeply about, the things that we are struggling with, the things that we are going through with right now, the things that we want to overcome. So when we're having this conversation, we're having it because they are absolutely very valuable to us. And in turn, we believe that they are very valuable to you all as we get to have them. So welcome, come and have a conversation with us in real time. Be free here at Afri Dominion, because we are also free when we discuss with you guys. We are absolutely free when we discuss anything with you. And we come to you in the spirit of truth, love, and trust. And these are the benchmarks by which we would hope each and every one of you to hold us accountable. Weight everything that we do, weight every activities that we have, and make sure that you can actually see those things. Make sure that you see that we live up to being truthful to you. Are we actually loving people? Everything we're doing, is it in the name of love? And can you trust what you're hearing? Can you trust what you see? Can we also put it in action, not just in words? And those are the benchmarks by which we hope each and every one of you get to really measure both the content that we get to deliver, but also our action and the validity of what we're showing with you guys. And in any case that you see anything that is misaligned, that is in contradiction to that, feel free to reach out to us, and make sure that you give us some feedbacks. Because everything that we're doing here, we're doing it hoping that it can add some value to each and every one of you, especially those of you who have some time to check it out. We mean what we say, and we say what we mean. So if you see no value in what we are doing, please, the very least you can do for us is to shoot us some sort of feedback. Come to our website, get on our phone line, shoot us an email, and give us some feedbacks, and let us know that, hey, listen, you guys did A, B, C, D, but I believe that it could have gone better if you have done it this way or that way. And with that in mind, guys, how do you get in touch with us? Reach us out straight from our website. You get to have the rest of our information, meaning if you go to the website at www.afridominion.com, then you will be able to find not just our phone number, our email, and our social media handlers. We have all that information there. And those of you who want to get in touch with us straight from our email, it is info@afridominion.com. Like I said, phone numbers, social media, and everything else, it's on our website. Check it out and get in touch with us. We truly will be very, very, very appreciative of the time and also whatever it is that you are going to be communicating with us. And with that in mind, guys, I'm so humble and so excited and so appreciative of your time, and we'll get right to it. But before we get right to it, I also want to start, as I always do, just giving you a little small brief of what it is that we do here. So what is Afri Dominion and what is Afri Dominion Show? Afri Dominion, it's an idea that inspires, that encourages, that literally advocates and help you take back the full dominion of Africa. You, sons, daughters, African descendants. And we make sure that this entire take back of dominion of Africa, it's going one nation at a time. One nation at a time, all in the interest of Africa and African people primarily, or first and foremost, and then the rest of the world afterwards. And then the Afri Dominion Show, it is a program or a mouthpiece, a communication piece of the idea, which means we have an idea. We also want to have a means to actually distribute that idea. We need to have a means to communicate that idea to you guys, to make sure that you understand what it is we're doing, what it is that we intend to do. And if you found anything that you like, come and join us as we're doing it. So the Afri Dominion Show, it is a program that inspires, a program that advocates, a program that encourages and help you take back the full dominion of Africa. You sons, daughters, and African descendants, one nation at a time, all in the interest of African and African people primarily, and the rest of the world afterwards. So if whatever it is you see here doesn't encourage you to do anything, doesn't inspire you to do anything, doesn't advocate you, the voiceless, your families, your community, even your nations, then already we're missing out some of our benchmarks. And because we work up in the public, we do not hide. We want you to actually come in our face, check us out, fact check us, real time, make sure that what we say is what we are also doing. We do this every single day until the program is over. And we are so excited and so humble for the opportunity that we were given by the HMG network and the affiliates who have agreed, who are helping us to distribute, to broadcast the signal all over the globe. So it's quite an opportunity, which means taking advantage of that opportunity for those of you who have been given that opportunity, who have been given that airtime, who have been given this particular time to connect with the rest of the world. Let's make sure that we use this time wisely, and let's make sure that it comes right back to our own people first and foremost, and everybody else. Now, I am so blunt when I talk about this because I want to make sure that you guys don't actually get an iffy feeling when you hear. What is iffy feeling? You may be wondering, are you guys discriminating the rest of the world? No, we are not discriminating. Currently, the world has at least how many nations? 180 plus nations minimum. Every single nation is responsible for its own citizens first and foremost. Does that do you call that discrimination? I don't think so. Every nation sets its own policy to its own region, its own people, its own management, whatever it is that it's own in its own territory. It is independent in doing so, and so we are told. Is that discrimination? No. Some nations are poor, others are rich. Some nations are completely what they call first class or first world nations. Others are like last class, third world nations. Is that discrimination? It all depends on whose lenses you're looking at it. So even as here at Afri Dominion, we want to make sure that you understand that we are actually working in the interests of African people first and foremost. It's not a crime. The same way, if I'm representing the United States, I'm seeking the interest of the United States citizen first and foremost. If I'm working for Canada, I'm seeking the interests of Canadian citizens first and foremost. Here I'm talking about if you're like an ambassador or a president, someone who's in a position to actually represent that particular nation. If you're a French ambassador, you're looking at the interests of the French citizens first and foremost. Yeah, you're actually discriminating anybody who's not French, but you're doing it in a way that makes sure that the interest you're looking at, it's primarily for those citizens, and then everybody is afterwards. That's what we're doing here. And we are so blunt about it. We are so honest about it. Because I also want you guys not to be ashamed of yourselves. Do not be ashamed in working hard for your own people. Do not be embarrassed that you're actually singling out your own people. There are so many communities that focuses its energy, its resources on its own people first and foremost. And it's not a crime. It is not a crime. You're simply prioritizing this group versus that group. Now, if that's discrimination, then we have discrimination all over planet Earth. Because we have ways we play with words. When it is so convenient, you can use this word, but it's not. When it's not convenient, you can use another word. So we want to make sure that we come boldly. We can truthful boldly and with no apologies as to what we are doing. If you found it offensive, let's talk. We don't hide. We literally on social media, we on television, we on radio station, and we have open mic, open microphone. We have open video comms or communication lines. Sorry about that. So we have Zoom that is open straight from the studio, which means if you have something to say, you can come straight to the studio and we'll talk about it. Let's get to it then. Our program airs Monday through Friday, 12 to 1:30 Eastern Standard Time or Washington, D.C. time. Every day, Monday through Friday. So come through if you want to say something or catch us up on demand or whatever platform that you are on. They have means for you to retrieve our program and listening in. We would actually love each and every one of you who find our program helpful to actually be a part of this program. This program is fully funded by us, the people. We, the people. It is funded by those of us who are actually who are intending in taking back what is rightfully ours. What does that mean? This program is funded by sons and daughters and African descendants, even Friends of Africa. Because we found it necessary that whatever it is that we have to do, it is up to us to get it done. If you need money, go find money. If you need time, find time. If you need resources, find resources. If you need creativity, find creativity within yourselves. This is not going to be a burden from somebody else. In other words, if you got an issue in your own house, do not go and just go bother your neighbor to come and take care of your own issue at the house before you can even attempt to take care of it yourselves. It'll be not only embarrassing for you to go and solicit help from your neighbor for an issue or situation you haven't attempted to solve yourself. Because if they ask you, have you done A, B, C, D? You won't have anything to say. Because you want them to carry on your load. We don't want that, and we're not suggesting anything like that. So come through, all those of you sons and daughters, kings and queens of Africa and African descendants, because we are here for those reasons. We want to take back our own house. We want to take charge of our own house, our own affairs, and want to be responsible, want to be accountable, first and foremost. Because everything that is not going right, it is because we have refused to take responsibility. And we let go of the dominion, we let go of the leadership of our own affairs and our own people. And we have let someone else do it. And so, when you let someone else run your shop, they can run in any way, any shape and form they see fit. Hence why you see African descendants, all of us, we look like a mess. So it's time to clean our own houses, it's time to clean our own act, it's time to get ahead of everything that's happening within our lives, within our families' lives, community, nations, and the continent. And with that in mind, guys, our programs, we have 5 different themes that are cut for each and every one of the days that we have. The 5 different themes goes from Monday through Friday. So on Monday, we have one theme, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, and Friday. On Mondays, we talk about the eradication of African refugees and African stateless person. What is that? To some of those of you who do not know that, I am quite sure you have heard of the word a refugee. Africa has some of the most refugees all over the world. These are African sons and daughters who are refugees in their own homeland and on their own continent, even outside of their own continent. Sadly to say, This is not an accident. This is actually something that is explicitly planned and meticulously executed. But we think that it's some sort of random act. It's not random. It is predetermined, guys. Which means the consequences from being a refugee or stateless person, it is an act that has been predetermined in advance. So we want to make sure that we change the course, we reverse that course to a course that is not only beneficial to you, who is a refugee, stateless person, but your descendants, your community, your nation. We want to do that, and when we're doing it up in the open, doesn't matter who's gonna like it or hate it. It is our own responsibility to get it done. On Tuesdays, we talk about the African Constitution, Law and Policy Review and Implementation. Again, we get to literally take the Constitution. Let me actually keep it dumber. These words, they are all sets of instructions. That's how I break them down. These are sets of instructions on different levels. One, it's on the national or nation level. Another, it's a regional level. Another, it's super small. It could be your very unique small organization or a bigger chunk of organizations. But these are a set of instructions that are being utilized for guidelines, for helping us to be on the same chord, on the same line, on the same wavelength. Some of which are easy to manipulate, others very tough to manipulate. You cannot change a constitution the same way you change a policy. You cannot change a policy the same way you change a local law. You cannot change a local law the same way you change a constitution. All of that differs. So same set of instructions, but applicable on much bigger spaces. Are we together? So we get to make sure that whichever set of instructions that you have going on in your own house, in your neighborhood, in your community, in your village, in your region, your nations, are actually the set of instructions that are beneficial for you and your people, as opposed to oppressing you and your people. If they are all beneficial, we keep on advocating that everybody gets to really get a hold on them. And if they are oppressing you, if they are taking away from you, we make sure that we actually advocate for eradicating them, for uprooting them, for getting rid of them. And we make no apologies about that. Because again, I'm telling you guys, seek out your own interest, because nobody else is going to do it on this whole planet. You don't do it yourselves, nobody else is going to do it for you. They might make you think they're doing it for you, but they are doing it in the interest of themselves first and foremost, and then you come secondly after that. Which is why we're saying everything we're doing here, it is for us African sons and daughters, kings and queens, first and foremost. And then everybody has benefits afterwards. So, straight up, no apologies at all. On Wednesdays, we talk about our testimony, history telling, and writing. Africa has a rich history, a rich buried history, I may add. You may be wondering, what are you talking about? Do you know who you are? Do you know where you come from? Do you know your ancestors? Do you know where they were? What they have done? Or you think you're just a monkey? Some of you may think you are monkeys, because the world, to some degree, they make you think that you're a monkey or you came from monkeys. And you are evolutionarily from monkey species. I don't know about you guys, but I know I'm not a monkey. I'm a human being, a very meticulously done human being. That's who I am. I don't know about you. So for someone to come in and strip off your identity and give you another identity, take away your human identity and give you a monkey's identity, and say you're really not a full human being. Though you may look like a human being, you're not a human being. We want to make sure that you and I get to revive our history. We get to bring back our own history. If you don't know who you are, you don't know where you came from, you have no documentation, you're certainly not sure where you are, and definitely will not know where you're going tomorrow. So today, we have taken it upon ourselves to rewrite our own history, our own way, guys. Which means whatever that is in you, you get to rewrite it the way it's in you. You do not get dictated from somebody else. Nobody comes and tell you, well, this is how I want you to tell the story. This is how it has gone down. No. Heck no. Again, we make no apologies. Because the last time I checked, for example, the United States writes its own history. France writes its own history. United Kingdom writes its own history. Chinese people or China writes its own history. Germany writes its own history. Russia, etc., etc., etc. So why can't you not write your own history? Why is it that any one of those big boys must come through and tell you how you write your own history from their own lenses? We are saying hell to the no with that. You should be in a position you can also confidently say, no, it is not happening. All right? So I encourage each and every one of you to be your own history teller. And also have an opportunity, have a mechanism, have a means, a program, a way to preserve that history. Just because it's buried right now, it doesn't mean that it's not there. We know who we are. And we want to make sure that all our own people know and remember who we are. It's just dormant. It's not lost. So those of you who have been clueless as to who you are, get close to those who are elders, those who truly know who you are, and give them an opportunity to awaken you so you can reclaim your true self, your true identities. On Thursdays, we get to talk about the spirit of dominion. What is the spirit of dominion? We talk about that because that's one of the most powerful words I have yet to find on planet Earth. What is dominion? Dominion, it's to govern, to rule, to control, to master, to take hold of something, to make it better, to protect it. So the spirit of dominion is that spirit within you to actually govern something, to give it structure, to give it order, to make sure that you're making it better than the way you found it. You get to master it so that you can actually make it better, give birth to many more things like that, literally. So when we talk about the dominance of Africa and African affairs, that means you govern, you control, you master Africa and African resources. You become the manager of your own resources. You cannot govern something you do not know. You cannot control something you have not mastered, you are not aware of, you don't have any knowledge over. So in order for you to be in a governance seat, you've got to have some prerequisite. Do you have those prerequisites? So Thursdays we get to talk about that. And we make sure that you're not intimidated by that. That is who you truly are. You are a king and a queen. Kings and queens, they rule, they govern. They control, they take mastery of their own domain. Nothing happens under the domain of a king and a queen, and you are clueless about it. So if you're in charge, you gotta be in charge of something you are aware of, something you have knowledge over. Do you have knowledge over yourselves? And if not, let's awaken that. That's what we do on Thursdays. On Fridays, we talk about the current event and how it affects Africa and African people. Again, we get to pick and choose what we see fit. We get to pick and choose the issues, the programs that are beneficial to us. It could be something from the mainstream media or something that you've never heard of from a village somewhere. As long as we found it deemed, we found it necessary, we found it beneficial to our people, we get to bring it up. Again, we're in charge of this program, so we get to do what we feel like doing. Are we together? And with that in mind, today we are Thursdays, as you have heard, and we want to be in charge. We want to talk about dominion. This word dominion. Our focus today is going to be, can you dominate a continent before a nation, a region, a village, a family, nor yourself? That's really what I want to talk to you about. In other words, can you actually take dominion of Africa before you have taken dominion of your nation? And before you have mastered to take dominion of your region, your village, your family? or before you have dominion over yourselves. Which means if you don't have dominion over yourself, how dare do you say you can claim dominion over the continent? It's just not possible. Have you prepared yourself for the position awaiting, or the position waiting for you? If you're a king, are you prepared to act like a king? Are you prepared to be as responsible as a king? Are you prepared to be accountable as a king? There's one way to call yourself a king, and there's another to act like a king and deliver like a king and a queen. When do we decide to stop selling excuses of our irresponsibilities as kings and queens over the stewardship of Africa and African resources? When do we stop excuses of our irresponsibilities over the stewardship of Africa and African resources? I know those questions could be loaded, but last but not least, what is your role in all of that? What do you have to do? What do you get to do to ensure that whatever it is that was wrong today, you can rectify it, and tomorrow you get a fresh start? That is what I want to talk to you guys about, and we want to make sure that we do it as good as we can. Oh dear. Okay, here we go. All right, so that's what we got going on, guys, and a huge shout out to all those of you joining programs wherever it is that you are. We have Zoom open if you feel like joining in the conversation. If you're on a radio or TV, wherever it is you're capturing this signal from, welcome, guys. Welcome. We are super excited again, and I want to jump right in it because this may take a minute to break it down, but again, we do what we can. We are going to be as thorough as possible in the little time that we have. So again, because I do not want to assume that everybody understands the words that I'm using. So let me say it again. Can you dominate a continent before a nation, a region, a village, a family, or yourself? You notice there is me, there is your family, there is your village, there is a region, there is a nation, and there is a continent. It's like six layers of functions that I've mentioned. This is not done by a fluke, because really everything we do, it's in layers. So in other words, really the simple question could be, can you dominate yourself? That word comes back, dominion. So I went again on Google and Webster Dictionary. I went on Google Dictionary, and I'm not doing advertising to Google, guys. It just that's where I went. So that's my source for this conversation, at least for the dictionary. I used the service from Google and from Webster Dictionary online. So I looked up the word dominion. Let me actually do even better. To dominate. Define the word dominate. So why do I do that? I do that because if I define the word my way, and it so happens that any one of you picks up a dictionary and go and look up the word, and if my words differs from your words, you might have a problem with what I'm saying. But because for the sake of making sure that we on the same wavelength, on the same frequency, I'm using the same dictionary that everybody's using to try to understand the words we're using. Why, again, we have become so caught up in using big words at the expense of the meaning. It's like I can speak so intelligently, but I'm saying nothing. So you have many people from all different kind of domains who have perfected a language in their own domain. When they speak, it sounds so amazing, but it's some gibberish. It's meaningless. They simply try to make you feel small. They try to basically extinguish. They try to distinguish themselves from you. They trying to basically create some sort of boundary, say, to make you believe it, to make you be aware, like we're just not like yourselves. So from speaking China, the Chinese, you automatically know that you're not one of us. If I'm speaking Kinyarwanda or French or English, you automatically know that I'm literally differentiating myself based on the language. So automatically it creates some invisible boundaries. So the words that we want to use, we want to make sure that it's a common word. The same way like earth. Earth is a word that is known everywhere. Regardless of how you translate it in your own little cocoon or in your own little sect, when you say earth, everybody gets to understand what you mean. So we want to make sure that whatever means of communication that we have, it is uniform all across, especially amongst the sons and daughters. Okay, so let's do it then. To dominate, according to the dictionary from our very dear Google, it says here that it's a verb. It's to have a commanding influence on, to have exercise or control over something. To be the most important or conspicuous person, thing in. Let me see here. Have a commanding position over, overlook. So some of the similar words to dominate. There is an overlook, command, stand over, over top, overshadow, overhang, bestride, span, straddle. Is a lot of words. And they go deep to the to the root word where it came from. There's one thing that talks about like early 17th centuries from Latin, dominat, ruled, governed, from a verb dominali, I think it's dominari, from dominius, lord. So when you dominate, really like the kings and queen, they dominate, they take over, they take control over something because it's yours. Oftentimes, you actually have created it, you have molded it, you have, it's just like a manufacturer, it's like the lord over a product. If you take the time to create your own product, you literally have given life to that product. So, because you've given life to it, you get to have a full control over it. You get to say the rules that applies to it, the laws that applies to it. And that product has absolutely no saying in any of it. And it is always going to be submissive to you, the maker. And you may say, isn't that discrimination? No, it's not discrimination. The relationship between a manufacturer and a product is as clear as day and night. There's not a single product that's going to require an independence from a manufacturer, because its capacity to be self-sustaining is just not there if the manufacturer does not give it the ability. So today, everything that we have, everything that we touch also, it follows the universal principle. I am here like a product. My maker is my manufacturer. I came with a predetermined set of instructions, set of rules, set of laws that even personally I cannot overtake. And this is one thing that actually surprises me when we think we have become like a manufacturer. First and foremost, you have zero knowledge of who you are. You governors, what's inside of you, the laws and rules that govern you. Just because you wake up, you have a routine, doesn't mean that you know yourselves. So if you haven't taken the time to discover who you are, to discover the laws that govern you, the right way, not the good way. Remember that difference, the difference between right and good? So you may think that you know it all because of a little scheme that you have going on, and it works for you. But that little scheme, it may be working against the rest of the products. Why? Because it may not be in a harmony with the rest of the products. So even with us, if you do not know the laws that governs you, the laws that controls you, the laws that actually allow you to be a better version of yourself every single day, the laws that helps you to master yourself, you in turn will not be able to apply the same law on the multiple other things. Remember, if you cannot master yourself, if you cannot master your own little area, if you have zero knowledge of what's going on in your neighborhood, in your own little small kingdom, let's take a home, a little plot. If you cannot manage your plot, if you cannot manage anything within, if you cannot even manage yourself, how can you dare say you're gonna go right ahead and take over a neighborhood? You barely can manage yourself, you barely can manage your own little plot, yet you want to seize 10, 20, 30, 100 other plots. That is absurd. But that's what, as human beings, we do. Why? Because we want to rule over things without having the knowledge, without having the preparations required to rule over them. But truthfully speaking, we are naturally rulers. We are kings and queens. We are dominant. But dominant over things, not over ourselves. Which means you have to really have mastery over you, and you can differentiate yourself from the things out there. Which is why I'm saying to you guys, if you do not have mastery over you, if you do not have mastery over just your own little kingdom, how can you expand that dominance? How can you expand that control to a much more bigger region and expect to be successful? Today, I see many people who want to be presidents. A president is a fancy word of a much bigger manager, over much bigger region, over so many things. So if you have zero management skill sets, if you have, meaning you have it, you have these skill sets, but they are dormant. I want you to understand me. Everybody is born a manager, but you must become a manager. You are born a king and a queen, but you also must become kings and queens. Just because you are born a king, you can behave like a slave. And we see that every single day. We see millions and millions and millions of people behaving like slaves. But they are truly kings and queens. So your behavior, if it doesn't match your true identity, it still does not mean that you're not who you are. You simply you're behaving differently from your true selves. And that is why now we are busy trying to openly reclaim our true identity and making sure that you are so self-aware that your true identity matches your action and matches everything that you do. Because if it does, then your surrounding is going to naturally submit to you, because you will know how to also manage your surroundings. Are we together? So when we talk about mastery over Africa, ruling, dominating, governing the entire Africa continent, the African resources, that's huge, guys. However, we gotta go back all the way to yourself. Just you and yourself only. The same skill set you want to apply governing the entire Africa continent, it is going to be the same skill set you're going to use on yourself first. Make sure that those skill sets work. You master yourself and your own little domain. Go to your neighborhood. Request the opportunity to serve your neighborhood. And see if you can manage your neighborhood in a such way that they are going to be satisfied by your management skill sets. Remember, as a manager, you're supposed to add value to that which you are trusted with. If you're taking away value, you are a lousy manager. And most of us, we are super lousy managers, guys. Not to insult anybody. You can be yourself. You can be your self-judge. In your own house, in your own little place, in your own apartment, how do you manage yourself? How do you manage your own affairs? Like literally, let's keep it simple. Let me take an example. You're a student. You got two jobs. One it's school. Another, it's like, you're working for a company. You're a full-time student and you're a part-time employee somewhere. They give you 4 hours a day perhaps, 2 hours a day. They say, okay, for 2 hours, these are our expectations. That company, before it puts you in a production line, they are going to give you some sort of orientation. They are going to equip you with the tools necessary for you to perform the task by which they would want you to perform. And consequently, they are going to compensate you based on the work that they have given you. That's how we have it set up today. You will never go to a job and then they will throw you in a production without some sort of prerequisite guidelines as to this is how we do things in this company. Anywhere you go, regardless whether you have 12 degrees, 13 and so on, you still gotta go through that course, that orientation course that lets you know, hey, listen, we know you've got those 12 degrees. However, we don't need any of it. We simply need you to do this that we have here. They give you a little booklet of what it is they do there. Doesn't matter. Don't care about your 12 degrees. They want to care about you executing everything they have in that small booklet. Imagine taking you from your 12 degrees and reducing you to a 13-page booklet. Some of you might find it very offensive. But truthfully speaking, if you want a job there, if you want to be an added value in that company, you got to play by their own rules. Remember now, we're coming back to rules, regulations, and so on. So even you at home, do you wait for a stranger to come in and put your house in order? Do you wait for your neighbors to come in and tell you what to do in your own home? If that's not the case, who's responsible for your mishap in the house? Is it your neighbor? Is it your mama? Is it your papa? Is it your brother, sister, whatever? I submit to you that it's you and only you. So today, because I'm going there, I'm going there so that all of us, we can stop the excuses. What am I saying? Right now, we have so many things going on in our lives. We're looking at we're looking the continent. But what's happening in the continent, it's a total sum of what's happening in different nations. And whatever that's happening in different nations, it is also a sum total of what's happening in many, many, many villages. And these villages are, whatever that's going on there, it's a sum total of what's happening in many families. And these families, whatever that's happening, it's a sum total of what is happening between you and me. Because me alone, when we get together with somebody and we create a family, and multiple families become a neighborhood, and that neighborhood becomes a village, and that village becomes a much bigger region, to the extent that it becomes a nation. So if you're really going back to the root of dominion, it comes down to me. So all that mumbo jumbo things we're talking about, Africa this, Africa that, it comes down to you and I. Do we have the tools to do what we have to do every single day? How do you run your own house? How do you run your own house? This may sound like an easy task, But the way you run your house will certainly determine the way you are going to run your neighborhood, if given the opportunity. Certainly the way you are going to run your village, given the opportunity. Certainly the way you are going to run your city, your big district, your much more bigger region. It all depends on the naming convention that you have in those top positions of governorship or rulership. So if you don't have it at home and you're applying to run a country, woe is that country that is going to be run by someone who's super useless at home. The same skill set you're using to run your house is the same skill set you're going to use to run a nation. The wise have said that woe is a nation where a slave climbs up and sit on the seat of a king and a queen. Imagine a slave has a mindset of a slave person. A slave waits for the master to do things for him or her. Now imagine if that's the mindset that you have. You've never done anything for yourself. You always put a hand out, then things just things appear. And that's the mindset that you have for your whole entire life. Can you be responsible to provide for you instead of you putting out that arm? Anytime you're stretching your arm and you say, gimme, 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 you're adding on a slavery mindset that's been instilled within our community. Because you're stretching a hand, ignoring your own gifts from within you, ignoring the rules and regulation that were manufactured within you. You are supposed to be a producer, not a beggar. You're supposed to have the gifts activated from within you to produce whatever it is you desire. And in turn, you can exchange your gifts with someone else's gifts, meaning you have something actually valuable and you are exchanging it with someone else who needs you valuable, whatever it is you do, because you also need what they have. So now you're meeting from a standpoint of value, of being a value added citizen. But if you're going empty-handed, you have nothing to trade. You are as good as a slave. You take a slave and put him in a position here and there to do the things you already have created. Then you give him a set of instruction on what to do. They do that, you compensate them with the minimum or whatever it is you see fit that merit what they are doing for you. So today, do not get too excited, guys. Do not get too excited to just go and get jobs out there. You are not dominating when you are employed. Listen to me carefully. Anytime you are performing a task for somebody else, you are not becoming yourselves. You are executing a set of instructions to benefit that person or that institution that have already predetermined those set of instructions. Which is why they can pay you $1 or they can pay you $1,000. Because they have decided that, hey, based on who you are, we believe that this is what is, this is what we owe you. Imagine all that value reduced to $1 because you have submitted to doing someone else's work, predefined work, when all along you have your own work that you have yet to take care of. Anytime you're doing someone else's bidding, anytime you're executing someone else's set of instructions, you're building their kingdom at the expense of your own kingdom. Therefore, do not cry when they pay you $1 and someone else is paid $1 million. because the value that they have seen you merit what they are compensating you with, because they determine that that's what you are valued. But you can flip the system, or you can flip the script and get back to your own work. Get back to your own manufacturing business. Get back to your own gifts from within you. Get back to your own set of instructions predefined for you. You don't even have to come up with them. You just gotta wake them up and do that which is already embedded inside of you. Again, some of you might not be listening to what I say, so I want to keep it dumber. In your own house, how are you running your house? Be it a student, a parent, anybody. In your own places, how do you run? Are you efficiently running your own place? Are you running it in the most bizarre way, however you see fit? Or you have like a sort of a system that you follow. Meaning, if you have a system, whether you're there or not, things will continue to go because you have taken some time to set a set of instructions that you follow. And these set of instructions, you can see whether they are really right for whatever it is you're doing, or whether they are not really giving you the most value out of it. If you're randomly doing things based on your feeling, your emotions, you're absolutely going to be a lousy manager in your own house. Now, would you want to hire a manager who produces, or a manager who takes away from what you already had? Real question. No degrees involved. Just simplicity. If I have no idea how to add value to what you already have, why would you bother giving me that job? You will be a lousy manager yourself for getting employee who cannot actually add value to you. Why? We are supposed to add value on anything and everything that we touch. That is just naturally who we are. We're supposed to add value. You cannot add value to something you do not know, something you do not understand, something you have no knowledge over, something you haven't mastered. You cannot add any value to it. So, oftentimes we're setting ourselves for failure. Today, I may find a job, an amazing job that pays so much money. Let's say that you're going for the $1 million. But you have not prepared you to handle the $1 million as a compensation. So you go to that interview, you lie. You lie over the skill sets that you have. You impress them with that beautiful language. Those big words that we're saying, you can absolutely talk. You talk the talk, but you have zero skill set. They are impressed, they give you the job. Little behold, as soon as they say, all right, so we love you, welcome aboard. This is your, this is going to be your account. Go ahead and be a producer for us because we are super excited to have you. You start panicking. Now that you're becoming in a position of where now you are going to be expected to produce, you're going to start stressing over the people you have found there. You're going to go and try to copy what they're doing here, what they're doing there, what they're doing there, because you do not have a single clue on what you are supposed to be doing. Yet you just applied for the same job. So you are a liar, you have zero integrity, you are not truthful, you are not honest, period. But because you were so adamant about getting that $1 million, you schemed and schemed and schemed until you got there. But guess what? You will not be able to reap that $1 million. Sooner or later, they are going to figure out that you are not who you said you are. The interview showed one thing, but in reality, you are another thing. Let me make it simple even more. So right now, I was born in Rwanda. So we have been complaining that Rwandese people have been killed since 1990. And then in 1994, they were massively killed through genocides. Genocides, listen to me very carefully. So today, some of us, we come forward and we say, we want change. We want to do this, we want to do that. I am equating ourselves to these people who go through different jobs. They say, I want to be the president, I want to be doing this, I want to be doing that, I want to be doing that. That's what you're doing, that's what we are doing today. You over-polish your resume for that $1 million job, but your skill set can't even help you to swipe the floor. So again, coming back now to our brothers and sisters from Rwanda, we have massive opportunities, a massive situation, many opportunities to handle situation that requires specific skill sets from all over our brothers and sisters. But because we have been given the spirit of copy and paste, the spirit of showing ourselves the way we are not, the spirit of lying. We are auditioning to position we have no knowledge over. If my father is a president, he comes in and he makes me the vice president, and I have no idea what a vice president duties and responsibilities entails. He comes in and makes you, his daughter, the minister of affairs or foreign affairs, for example. And you have no knowledge what that entails. But because that is the president, he's literally appointing family members in all kinds of positions. And the people are okay with it. That is straight out of the service to the people. And that ruler, that president, it's just like that slave who have literally went all the way and sat on the king's seat, but cannot execute the duties and responsibility of the king on that seat. So be careful, Rwandese people, be careful, brothers and sisters, African brothers and sisters. Do not put yourself further than where you are, be it in your skill sets or who you are in the gifts from within you. You have today presidents who have no business being on the president's seat. You have generals who have no business being generals, but they have been pre-decorated with the general stars. You have ministers, prime ministers in positions that they have no knowledge of. So we have many slaves who have occupied king's positions, and they are not producing anything for centuries. But it's not done by design. I'm sorry, it is not done by accident. It is very well designed that way. So today, we want to make sure that we come truthfully as we are. If I know nothing, know that I know nothing. So, if I know nothing and you give me a job of a president, can you expect me to produce on the president level? Even a kid who hasn't gone to school can tell you it is not going to happen. So how do we treat ourselves on the level of a nation, on the level of a region, on the level of a village, on the level of just a neighborhood, even on the level of a family? If you know your son or your daughter cannot do this job, who are you killing if you actually put him in that position knowingly that they're not going to produce? Just because they are your kinship, it does not mean that they can produce what you are expecting out of them. Either you're going to decide to give them the training they need to produce, Or you're going to have to find someone to literally occupy those seats and find something else for your sons and daughters, if you're honest. Because sooner or later, you are going to have to hire 2 or 3 people to work under your son, under your daughter, to do the work that your son alone could have been doing, your daughter alone could have been doing. So you'll be paying 2, 3 people because of your own ignorance as a slave in a decision-making seat that you have no knowledge of what it is you're doing. So coming back to you in your own house, because that's where it all started. If today you are a you are a lousy manager at your house, and things are going bad in your own house, let's just take an easy example, because I want to be practical. That way we can see how can we change the situation. So I got my own place and I'm struggling financially. Bills are piling up every day, but I'm working 8 hours, I'm working 10 hours, but yet money doesn't equate to what the bills are saying. So even though I'm hustling, but I'm underproducing, then I get annoyed. I start figuring out a way to offset the discrepancy in the money in the position. Here I am, maybe a scheme. I have figured out a way to get some money. I come to you and say, hey, I'm really good in this. Give me the opportunity to take care of it, and I'll be the most amazing producer in that area. You give me a shot, you give me a shot, and you find out that I'm a lousy producer. Though you have actually given me the opportunity, you have given me the training, and you even invested some time giving me some of the tools and the skill sets needed for me to do that job. But you realize that I oversold myself a little bit. I have added a few things that I have no knowledge over. And now when it comes to production time, I cannot come through. So what do? You fire me. Once I get fired, now I'm even worse than how I was before. If I don't learn from that lesson, I'm gonna go and figure out another scheme. Quickly put together something and make another scheme. 6 months later, I get fired again. However, if now I go ahead and say, okay, you know what, I've been very lousy. I'm in a domain I have no knowledge of. Let me be honest to myself. Let me take off 6 months. Go live with my mom, go live with my pops, go live with my sister, my brother, go live with my cousin, go live with my uncle, go live with my auntie. Submit myself under their roof. Take some time to learn a small skill set that I can master within 6 months, and go get a job that merits what I have just mastered within that 6 months. That could be another route. Or you can say, okay, let me focus in these 6 months and figure out what is it inside of me. What is my gift? And learn how to nurture that gift. And do yourself a favor. Put some water on your gift. Grow your gift to the extent you can start passing it on to your family members and say, hey, this is what I got going on. Is this something that is of an added value to you? Hey, check this out. This is what I got. This is my fruit. Is this something that you can find helpful? By the time you're done with your 6 months, you know your gift, you have nurtured it, you know it has grown, and everybody's like, actually there's something in there. Polish your gift a little bit more. Give it another 2 or 3 months. You'll be good to go. Now the whole neighbor, the entire neighbor, now they know that there's something unique about you. You don't have to scheme any of them. They can actually see the fruit that you have. However, you had to submit yourself. You had to go a little bit of behind the scenes and take a back seat You're no longer driving the luxury house. You're not driving the luxury a car. You are not in that big fancy house. You are in just one little teeny room. And you are under the guidelines of your uncle. You are being told what to do. You are giving curfew. You are giving curfew to do A, B, C, D. Even though you could be an older person, you are dancing by the rules of whoever king and queen you are residing under. That's what essentially parents do. While you are learning, while you are awakening your gift, you're getting a free ride, quality life from your parents' house, from your auntie's house, from your grandpa, whichever the case may be. Now, if you decide to misuse the time that you are spending at your mom's, your dad's, your uncle, your auntie, your grandpa, your grandma, by the time your time's up, you have no gifts to show, you have no talent to demonstrate, you're going to scheme as your specialty. And people will know that you are a schemer because throughout the time you were living there, you never shown any gift. You've never grown because everything was being provided to you. I hope I'm making sense, guys, because I went as basic as it could be. The same application is applicable to every domain in our lives, including today in 2022. Today we are saying we need to take back the dominion of Africa and African resources as Africans. Why? We have everything that we need, but we have no skill sets to apply so that everything that we need we can realize. We have everything. We have the tools, we have the land, we have everything that we need, except we have not awakened the gifts. So, can you expect to be a producer on the continent level if you've never been a producer on a national level? If you've never been a producer on a regional level? If you've never been a producer on a village level? It could be a town, it could be a province, whatever the namings that you use in your area. And certainly, if you've never been a producer in your neighborhood, and most definitely, if your family knows that you are no good, if you do not produce at home, are you going to be a grandmaster schemer on the continent level, on a national level, on regional level, on a village or town level? Because that's what you are at home. You manipulate, you scheme at the house. Or are you going to actually take some time and become who you are? Take some time and figure out what your gift is. Stop scheming your own people. Because today you're scheming your family. They can't chase you away. They are your family. Then you upgrade, you go scheme to your neighborhood. And then they can't stand you. And then you quickly upgrade and you go scheme your village. You scheme in one area, tomorrow you move to another area, and the next day you go to another area. And before they figure you out, you move out of your village, you broaden it up a little bit, you go to the district, or you go to your province where it's a little bit bigger. And you keep the scheme going, and you keep the scheme going, and you keep the scheme going. By the time you're caught up, you have so many schemes you can run. You certainly are getting paid a little here, a little there. But at the expense of the rest of your people around. It's like you're a bad apple that's making the rest of the apples rotten. Anywhere you pass by, they know that you are no good. They know that you have zero skill sets, but you can talk the talk. And then you can figure out someone else who does your work. So what am I saying right now, guys? Time for scheming is over. There's nowhere that you will take back the charge. You will take back charge of your own nation, charge of your own village, charge of your own city, town, charge of your neighborhood, your family, if you have yet to take charge of yourself. if you have yet to be self-governing, to self-govern, if you have yet to awaken your skill sets, your gifts from within you, if you have yet to demonstrate that you can actually produce something on your family level, something on your community level, they have to see the fruit within you without you scheming, without you pretending. And if you don't have neither, humble yourself. Humble yourselves. And take some time off. Allow yourself to grow. Allow yourself to awaken your gifts without being a rotten egg, a rotten apple amongst the rest of the apple or amongst the rest of the eggs. Don't be a bad neighbor because you are so quickly trying to get ahead at the expense of your entire neighborhood. Do not sell out your own people, brothers and sisters, at the expense of you going ahead or becoming a better version of yourself because you're scheming. We have all the resources we need in Africa, in your nation, in your own village, in your own neighborhood. But it's up to you to take the time to learn what the resources that you have can do for you, can do for your family, can do for your community, can do for your nation. Learn how to use your skill set to derive the resources you have into a resourceful, some sort of resources that you can use. That will be clean, that will be honest. Even the whole entire globe can come for you. Because the whole entire globe can come for you because you have a gift, you have a fruit that they're looking for. A mango tree, it never has to advertise its mango when the mangoes are ready. You go look for it. And as soon as you can taste that mango and it feels good, you know which tree has better mangoes and which tree has lousy mangoes. Those of you who watch games, sports, you've seen that players, best players, are literally bought from many teams, which is why they've been putting on contracts. So as a player, if you move from one team to another, you're taking your gifts there. And that team becomes a better team in no time. It is not the coach, it's the player. If a player has a good skill set and it's applying it perfectly well according to the scheme, according to the gifting of the coach, both the team and the coach are going to be producer. They will produce better results because one is executing the commands from the other guy. So even with you, your skill sets, if they are properly applied in an environment that has everything that you need, you're going to derive a risk. You're going to turn your skill sets combined with the resources there to a gift, to a fruit that the whole entire population can use. So you Africans, where you are today, what kind of skill set do you have? Seriously speaking, I am not interested in your degrees. I'm interested in what can you produce? Tangible things that you can produce. Because you can go to school, get a certificate, get a diploma, get a degree, but you have no knowledge to produce today. Or you could work and work and work and work and nurture a gift up until it's ready to be served and go to that same interview with that someone who has degrees and you knock the socks out of them. Why? Because your gift is ready, theirs is not ready. They came with a degree, you came with your gift. The company needs a ready fruit. They don't need a piece of paper that says you have done this. They're not going to use nothing with that piece of paper. Our nations today, they need to overcome slavery. You cannot take a slave and take him to also encourage other slaves to free themselves. It's not possible. There is a condition that made you arrive where you are today. If you are not aware of that condition, if you are not prepared, if you have not prepared yourself to overcome that condition, it doesn't matter how long it's going to take. You're still going to be in that same condition. So, my dear brothers and sisters, be it Rwandans or Africans, we got a season where our skill sets, our gifts are going to be put on a scale, are going to be put on a weight publicly, where we may actually get shamed publicly. If you put yourself where you don't belong, they put you on a scale, and the weight on the scale doesn't match the weight you said that you weigh. You're going to be an imposter. If I claim to be 200 kilograms, when you put me on a scale and I'm 110, and I was so adamant selling myself as a 200 kilogram individual, everybody who finds out that I'm only 110 will not only know that I'm a liar, but they will not do business with me because I'm not honest enough to say I'm only 110. Which means what? Before you go sell yourself, put yourself on a weight. Weight yourself and see, what do I weight? Let me speak in another language. Before you go out there to advertise your gift, take the time and taste your own gift. That way you are not shocked if it's a bitter gift or a sweet gift. A mango that is not ripe, it's sour. A mango that has already ripened and well done, it's juicy. Know when to sell a ripe and well done mango versus a premature mango. A premature mango, it's sour. It does not taste good. But it still is a mango. It's legitimately a mango, but it's not ready. Even you, regardless of how thirsty you are to take dominion of Africa, to take dominion of your nation, to take dominion of your village, to take dominion over your neighborhood, to take dominion of your family, to take dominion over yourself. Take some time and nourish yourselves. Take some time and bring out your gifts. Make sure that you are ripe. Don't go while you are still sour. Even if they put a little salt on you, even if they put a little bit of sugar on you, a little bit of honey, whatever it is they put on you, just to make you taste a little bit better, you are still going to be sour because you are naturally not ready. So that time frame, that phase where you must prepare yourself, use it diligently. Be diligent when you're using that time frame so you can prepare yourself, you can prepare your fruit, so that when it's ready to be served, it's well done and ripe, and definitely not rotten. So anywhere you are today, guys, be of a good steward. Pass on the good gifts that you have already tested to be a good gift. If you're working with your brothers and sisters, be a producer of the gifts and the gifting from within you. Do not be an imposter, because you being an imposter, it is not only going to make you look bad, but it is going to take us backwards also, because you cannot pretend to be what you are not. It's impossible to be something that isn't you. Sooner or later, everybody finds out. And when they do find out, after you have wasted the time, you will make enemies instead of friends. You will literally cause some people from not going to their destiny because they have stepped over you and they have literally fallen. Instead of stepping to a solid bridge, they stepped on an empty bridge and then they went under. And you told them that you were solid. So everything we're doing today has consequences, good and bad. Be in the right position so that our brothers and sisters can actually benefit. That's the moral of the story today. Do not try to go take the responsibility on a continent level when you yourself don't know that you have yet to even handle, to take hold over your own responsibilities. No matter how enticing it is, that $1 million job versus that $25 job. If your skill level it's on $25 job, be on the $25 job and learn how to be a 50, a 100, a 500, 1,000, 10,000 and so on. But be honest with it. Because as you grow, you'll be not only a blessing to those that you come across with, but you will learn from them as well. They will want to actually elevate you from being a $25 producer to a $50 to a $100 to $200 to $400 to $800 and so on. But if you're lying that you're a 100 producer, but you cannot even get 10 out of you, not only they will sack you from that $100 job, but nobody's going to trust you for that even $10 job. That is happening every single day among us brothers and sisters. Because we are so willing to be who we are not. Because someone have schemed us to say, hey, listen, work smarter, not harder. Work smarter, not harder. You don't have to study. You don't have to polish. You don't have to work on your gifts. Just do a copy and paste. You'll be okay. There's no copy and paste. Long term. That's going to help you become. That's going to help you get off the slavery mindset. Get off the slavery bandwagon. Copy and paste will keep you in that slavery ship. Copy and paste will not give you the equipments you need to run your ship as kings and queens. You need to be the ones in charge of what it is you are going to copy and paste. You need to create the template for copy and paste yourselves so that when you're using it, you know that it's your own template. You know what it entails. You know its benefits from the very beginning to the end of it. And you know that it's ripe and well done and not rotten. You're not going to give it to anybody knowing that it's sour. So don't be a sour giver. Because even if we put some salt on you, some sugar on you, we still know that you were sour. Now, we could eat you because we're hungry, but rest assured, when the rest of the mangoes are ripe, you'll be the last one that everybody's going to pick. Because you're not supposed to be there to begin with. So be truthful to yourself, God. Be true to yourself. And be truthful also along the journey. It is expensive to overmark yourself in the long run. It's amazing short term because you fool people in a short amount of time. But you cannot fool people all the time in the longer journey, in the longer run. So humble yourself. Learn what you gotta learn. Put in the time necessary to polish your skill set, to polish your gifts, and serve your gift to the people. And make sure that they are satisfied with your gift. And expand it to your family, to your village, to your region, to your nation, and the continent. If you're selling legitimate gifts, if you have legitimate gifts, they will sell themselves. You will not have to manipulate anybody. You would not have to scheme anything. People will come themselves explicitly asking you to give them that because they know it's well done and it's ripe in its own time. I wish each and every one of you, to seek out to become a better version of yourself. To seek out and bring out your very best gifts. your very best gifts, and take the time to nourish those gifts. Take the time to literally water your gifts, and take the time to serve it only and only when it's ready. Some of us will learn on the job because those who are supposed to be serving us are no longer there. So you could be eating sour grapes while you're learning how to actually allow your grapes to ripe in its own course. That also is an opportunity. So wherever it is you are, whatever the conditions that you found yourselves in, be the best in it and don't cut any corners. That's all I got for you guys today. So make sure that when you do dominate for good. Start with you, your family, your own little neighborhood, your village, your region, your country, and then the continent. Don't cut any corners because everybody's going to know when you cut corners. With that in mind, guys, thank you so very much. As always, leave us a feedback. If you like what you're hearing, come and be a part of it. Come and support. Let's do it together. Like I said, we have so much work to do. This is nowhere to cut corners. Literally not here. Even if it takes us 1,000 years, we're going to do it right from the get-go, so that we can move on next 10,000 years like a breeze. But if I start cutting corners right now make sure that everybody has cut corners, 30 years from now, we'll start all over again, which is unfortunately what we are doing in Rwanda. All of the glamour that you see, it's not glitter, guys. I'm telling you, and you'll get to testify. So guys, shoot us a message at info@afridominion.com. Visit our website at www.afridominion.com. Share with us everything that you feel that are helpful, that you feel we can do better, that you feel like you can actually contribute to this program, and we are truly grateful. A huge thanks to HMG Network and the affiliates for having broadcasted this signal. And a huge thanks to the technical team also from our station here, from HMG Network, and the affiliates who have been going with us step by step as we produce these programs. Again, these programs are produced and funded by us, the people. And it will be very exciting to see you coming and becoming a part of our family. We are speaking on behalf of our voiceless brothers and sisters, and we will continue to do that until we have taken back all that is rightfully ours. And with that in mind, guys, I am Freeman Singirankabo here at Afridominion. I wish you all a beautiful, beautiful day, a super fantastic day. God bless. Be good steward to all that is trusted to you. Be good be good givers to all who have needs. And don't shortchange anybody. Do not shortchange anybody, guys. Until next Thursday, we will see you, and you have yourself a beautiful day. So long for now.